That fresh produce stand there, that's a beauty.
What do you listen to?
My favorite murder podcast.
Taggart and Torrance podcast.
The produce stand.
Fucking sexy.
It's Thirsty Thursday, and that means we are once again hanging out at the Produce Stand, a podcast covering everything in the universe. I know what you're thinking. There are lots of other podcasts about Letterkenny out there, but this one has Don Cherry's Taylor. I'm Al, your host, and joining me in the room, as always, is lovely Tanya. And online, we've got Squirrely Matt and the ever-stylish Victor. How's everyone doing tonight?
Did you just refer to Victor as stylish?
Well, you know, yeah, especially wearing the T-shirt he's wearing tonight. It's part of the whole pun. What are you wearing? What is that? What is that?
What do you mean? Are you asking me what that is?
What show is that?
That's Astroganga. You can't read in Japanese?
No, I can't. Astroganga.
It says Astroganga.
I already apologize for asking the question.
Astroganga is like the greatest anime cartoon ever made, and it's from 1973, same year, same vintage, and it's fantastic.
I probably watched it. I was into all those Gunga cartoons back in the late 70s. Early 80s.
Not to be confused with Gundam.
No.
But he is a giant robot, but he is an alien robot, and there's a boy that goes inside his chest, and together he becomes a smart giant robot because they're somehow able to gel together. Anyway, it's awesome. I love it.
So basically, the human boy becomes a parasite to this robot and leeches off.
And then
the
they
robot.
fight other giant monsters,
Nice.
monster robots, and things.
You know what? Let's get started.
How are you now?
Tonight's lineup is Victor, myself, Matt, and Tanya. We'll get the last word. Victor, I don't know. Go ahead. What have you been up to?
Well,
asked.
Can I just continue talking about Ganga?
If you want.
All right. I think I've talked about him before, but I'll find a background later and replace it. I feel like we just did this a couple of days ago, but apparently a whole week went by.
Yeah, last week.
It was a whole 7 days ago.
I think mostly I've just been watching a lot of football, I'll say, for our European and South American friends. But
it's been quite the tournament. Lots of upsets. Lots of upsets.
God, there's so much fun. And then even that orange idiot got involved.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's like
Careful, don't get political.
I know, but it's just funny, right?
Yes.
And the beautiful karma that came back of it. And then what's funny is now there's an English player that got a red card. But I don't know. I don't think the prime minister is going to be petitioning on his behalf.
If he does, it won't matter because he's not buddies with the FIFA
No,
guy.
but what's funny is he got a red card, but he didn't get suspended just for one game. He got suspended for 2 games without any explanation.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So that way, if England somehow wins their next game, then they have to play against Argentina without one of their better players against Messi. So it just plays all into the whole conspiracy that people have. But it's a lot of good drama, a lot of fun and excitement. I've been enjoying it. So I don't know. I'll pass it on to whoever's next.
Sure. I'm next, and I actually don't know. I have nothing to talk about. I can't think of anything. What? Are you looking at me funny? Do I have something to talk about? I've got a show coming up on Saturday. That's about it. Other than that, it's been a pretty standard week. Nothing. What did we do last weekend? I don't even remember. we watched a movie with the girl, another Miyazaki movie, which was Kiki's Delivery Service, I think, which was.
We saw all of those movies.
Yeah, we're slowly going through them all. The latest one was the Kiki's Delivery Service one, which was fun.
That's a great one.
They're all good. They're all really good. Other than that, I've been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine with my daughter, who's loving it. She loves.
That's fun.
Yeah, my oldest loved it when he went through it.
Yeah, and it's been
What the hell did we do last week?
kind of boring week. Yeah, I can't.
It was so long ago. I have no idea.
It was a few days ago.
No, it's a long time ago.
Anyway, so I'll pass it on to Matt. What have you been? Oh yeah, Matt.
Yeah.
Congratulations on opening up your Airbnb. Oh, you can. When it's your turn.
Yeah.
Your Airbnb, how's that going?
Oh, it's stressful, man.
It's already
stressful.
What?
Oh my God. Well, It's stressful. Well, I mean, we're not doing this just because it's fun, right? We definitely need the supplement, right?
Mhm.
And I'm confident it's going to come. When you start off any kind of high risk, high reward, anything, I think my wife immediately assumed the second we open the door, we'd just be full, and that's not. I mean, we have 3 bookings so far.
Congrats.
No one
Thank you.
wants to be
Yeah.
the first unless there's reviews, right?
Well, and that's what I keep
That's where the
saying. I'm like, we've
hesitation
got,
is.
yeah, I feel like we're slightly overpriced, so we're trying to figure out what the sweet spot is, doing lots of research. I'm constantly tinkering with the app to, adjust some of the amenities or the descriptions, looking things up. And then yeah, we have a booking in a couple weeks as our first one right now, but we could, for all we know, get one for tomorrow, if it suddenly popped up. And then we have a couple in August. So I'm excited to get those first few bookings in, but we need them to continue, right? So, and then we're also still finishing up some final touches on the space itself, and we're right down to like the nitty gritty of just putting like a lock in the laundry room and things like that, like little things, but they're all just there, and it's been a little stressful around the house as we're trying to
Well,
get
tell
over
you what,
this.
next time, Tanya and I need to stay in the city, we know where to stay.
There you go. I'll give you a deal.
All right. I hope so.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think it's gonna be fine.
Did you put in your about you that you run a podcast out of the house?
I did actually. I put
Did
that.
I love it.
There was like a section that said "fun fact about you" or something.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
said, I'm a host of a podcast that celebrates Letterkenny.
Well,
and
you should
Shoresy."
put like in the very top, say, come see Squirrely Matt's big deck,
Oh, I love it. See, that's why you're the marketing guy.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
So yeah, it's just there's little butting heads around here right now, but I'm hoping it'll taper down. Aside from that, I've just been watching nonsense. I must say nonsense isn't the word. Like I thought I watched the Michael movie. I thought
that's
that was
right.
pretty good.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was fun.
it was the music was great. And you said it was his nephew that plays Michael, right?
Did a great
Fantastic.
job. Did an amazing
Oh
job.
my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's uncanny how well he did on that. So bravo. I mean, they
Gloss
kept the
over.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, they glazed over a lot, and obviously in the timeline it doesn't go into when things really get shady. That's just where the story stops. But I think it's a nice telling of, I guess, the lighter side of his career. But
I mean, what it does is it explains to the generation who's wasn't born then why he became so big, right? It basically tells the story of how he became what he became, how he became the king of pop.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything about afterwards, but it
No,
takes you right up to
exactly.
that. Yeah.
And it's so interesting. I watch things like that, and I've heard the stories about Joe Jackson and some of them, and they hint towards some of it. They don't really get too deep into it. But right, I'm not condoning it by any means, but I think of movies like even like Whiplash, if you ever saw that, and there's a whole scene in that and how brutal that teacher is towards them.
Yeah.
And the
Tanya
whole
definitely
concept.
reacted to one of the scenes, the Joe Jackson
Well, that's the whole
scenes.
point.
Yeah.
That's the whole point
Yeah.
of Whiplash, though,
Yeah.
right? Is to
Right.
shock you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like that's a constant debate about getting the best out of people. Is they need to be pushed, and I'm not saying it's right and by any means condone that type of behavior. But then it always raises the question: would we have ever had Michael Jackson, had Joe Jackson not been a
Yes,
piece
we
of
would
shit?
have had Michael Jackson because he was pushing everybody, like all the 5 of them, right? So,
No, but they were from the. I'm not again. I'm just putting the
Yeah, no, I
the
get
awkward
it. I get it.
opinion, and I get there's always that argument like about these teachers.
Same
who
thing. Would
push
we have a
people
Tiger?
beyond their limits?
Would we have a
right?
Tiger Woods if his dad didn't put him on
Yeah.
TV at 5 years old, or
Serena and
or
Venus
Serena
Williams,
and
and they're,
like it's
but it's not just putting them on. It's not just exploiting them as children. It's also the abuse on top of that.
Oh,
And-
I know.
correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think-
100%
I think-
agree. And all of them were
Wayne
ultimately
Gretzky was never abused,
right,
but he was put on the ice when he was 2 years old.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
He's one of the lucky ones
there's
that
the
had the
path.
supportive father opposed to the piece of
There's a
shit who
path to
pushed them.
greatness, and it doesn't have to go through hell. Is all I'm saying.
Agreed.
Oh,
but
I
you often
love
get
that,
these
Victor.
stories.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a
powerful.
tattoo.
But anyways,
That's
that's,
gonna-
one of the thoughts I took away from it. Like when there was that argument at one point, but what's his wife? What's his mom's name? Catherine or Michael Jackson's mom. Am I saying it wrong?
Wasn't it Mary? I thought it was
Mary. Oh, I'm forgetting what his mother's name. Anyway,
that was like religious in some way, but
yeah, Joe and his mom are talking, and he's
Mary
like,
and
he's
Joe.
going on about how, you know, he would never be here without me, and then she's like, well, you would never be here without him, right? And
yeah.
so it's that battle, but I don't know. Anyways, I really enjoyed the movie. The music was fantastic. It really kept that spirit alive, and the
I was
fun.
surprised by the rating though, with the child abuse in like scene and with all the smoking. I thought, isn't that an automatic like rating higher for an older age group?
What was it rated?
I think it was PG.
PG-13 or PG? There's a difference.
I don't think it was PG-13.
Yeah.
I think it was PG.
I don't know.
Which I was surprised about, because again, back in the day, like everybody smoked. Everybody got hit and everybody
PG-13, Michael.
Oh, it is 13.
And I thought it was a
PG-13
fantastic
is
role for
appropriate.
Coleman Domingo there playing Joe Jackson. He did a pretty great job at that as well. So
Yeah, very hateable.
Anyways.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the way they recreated a lot of the scenes. I still think the Bohemian Rhapsody did it better in terms of recreating that last
They
show.
also left out a lot of the stuff. Bohemian Rhapsody was just
100%. I'm just talking about recreating the famous scenes we're all used to seeing.
Recreating the good times.
Well, just the scenes we've all seen on TV, the videos, the performances, the famous ones, right? Like even shooting Thriller, the Thriller movie. I was surprised actually at how in depth they went into that.
And there's a lot I learned. Like I had to do my own research. Like when they touch on when he recorded "Beat It" and he pulled the Crip and the Bloods together to be part of that. I had no idea that was really a thing either. And apparently that was all.
Yeah, that was interesting. I didn't know about that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And I looked it up, and apparently, like, there was a lot of police enforcement on site when it was all his idea, and everyone disagreed with it. But he went through law enforcement, and they reached out to their contacts at the respective gangs and pulled together people that they thought could work for this, and then they were there, insisted to be. And apparently, there was a couple occasions where they were ready to shut the whole production down because things were getting tense. But it also comments, and just like they showed in the movie, was the moment the dancing started, it's like the vibe in the room changed and everybody was suddenly on board and wanted to be a part of it. So they actually captured that based on what apparently really happened. But that was a very interesting story, his attempt to that's not fix the world, but have a moment of peace in some pretty chaotic times.
Should I wind Victor up or no?
Oh,
yes.
Already?
Well, okay, so I'm going to, because he does such a great job and loves doing it to me. Awesome in the live stream says, regarding Wayne Gretzky, I don't know, man. There's a legitimate argument that exploiting kids for celebrity, whether it's for athletics or entertainment or whatever, is inherently abusive.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Oh, all right.
But are you telling me that exploiting your kids that way is the same thing as physically or mentally abusing them on top of that? These are two separate categories. I think abuse is not the right word. I think exploitation is the right word. And from what I recall is nobody seemed to have an issue on the Shoresy cheerleader committee about exploiting women in strip bars. So it seems like exploitation is fair game. So let's move on.
All right. Yes. Tanya, how's your week?
Oh, you're giddy. You are giddy. You were just winding up.
My night just got better.
Oh my gosh. How am I? Summer is always such a challenge, wearing multiple hats and trying to balance and run businesses and house and kids, and it's freaking exhausting. We're in July. Trying to fit in all of the doctor's appointments so that I don't have to pull kids out of school during the summer or once school starts up, and getting eye appointments, and oh my God, I
braces next.
Braces. It's just it's an absolute whirlwind, and making sure that everybody's entertained and keeping sanity, and I might be losing mine. But anyways, so Saturday, what we were forgetting, so to say that life has been busy, life has been extremely busy lately, and Saturday was so far away. But our daughter had her concert.
Oh,
and,
right. Yes.
And like absolutely rocked out on the bass guitar to Sweet Child of Mine. And
I didn't know there were that many notes in Sweet Child of Mine for the bass anyway. I got to talk to my bass player in my bands and say, hey, what the fuck? You guys have been slacking off.
Yeah, she nailed it. She really did. It sounded amazing, and so proud of her. And she got an award. And not everyone got an award, so that makes her award really good.
Yeah.
It was a truly deserved.
No participation medals were given.
Yeah. So it was a great day and celebration, and amazing work. And then work has just been, I think I did some back-to-back 12-hour days, which I know Victor's like a 12-hour day is just nothing. I just I think I was legitimately exhausted by the end of the day and fell asleep in the chair, which is not like me, but I've just been conked right out. So yeah, I'm exhausted.
That's just my routine. I come home from work and I get to sit in the chair and have a.
Well, that's because of your hour commute. Oh, and I did my meditation. I did find 30 minutes for meditation for myself. Was it 30? I don't even remember. Am I there
Don't
for
ask
an
me.
hour?
I was sleeping.
Oh, it's an hour. It's an hour. Oh my God. I did meditation this week, and I did. I did brain vacations, and I don't know whether it's searchable or not, but it was fantastic just to turn your brain off and have a little vacation and then turn it back on in an hour.
Oh, I think Brent did that on Corner Gas.
Did he? A brain
Yes.
vacation? I love it.
Yeah. That's how
I thought it was
he
so much
took
fun.
vacations. Like he when he takes a vacation, he just goes in the back on his lawn chair and puts like a screen around his head, and nobody's allowed to touch him or disturb him because he's on vacation.
Oh, I love it.
So this sounds like very similar to your
We did
meditation
we did
vacation.
3 different brain vacations, and it was really it was lovely, and I recommend it because God knows there's so much hecticness in our days and weeks. It's nice to take a break and turn it off for a bit.
All right, let's get this thing going, shall we?
Previously on Letterkenny.
Last week we wrapped up the first Don Cherry miniseries, Keep Your Head Up, Kid. It earned a fresh rating from all of us, making it a TPS Unicorn. We hadn't had those in a while. This week we begin the second miniseries with part 1 of Wrath of Grapes. Victor, have you done your homework?
It is.
I've done my homework. Tanya, have you done your homework?
It is.
Matt, have you done your homework? Matt, are you there?
Matt is not
Matt
there.
is-
This time without issue.
Oh, you are frozen, but okay.
Well, don't bore us. Get to the chorus.
There we go.
Oh, and he's drunk.
Oh, we dropped
and
it.
he's
back.
back.
Okay. Good to
He has
know.
a sad face, though.
I got to the part where you said,
Uh-oh.
He didn't pay his internet bill.
Oh, Matt.
it says unstable again.
Tell the
I hope I
Airbnb
don't
to
kick
stop
that out.
using bandwidth.
You are
There's
not.
no one down there.
I'm trying to share my screen, but there we go. What the hell happened there?
I did do my homework.
Good boy.
Your tip on how to get those files worked flawlessly.
Yes. You have to zip them before downloading them to get them
Yeah,
past
it worked.
Zippity-doo-dah.
past the Anyway, here we go. We start with the story doesn't pick up where the last miniseries left off. Instead, it goes back a bit. We flash back to Don's playing days with the Rochester Americans. He's in the middle of a fight while a voiceover explains the thing Don misses most about hockey, the fighting. From there, we get a quick recap of his 5 years with the Boston Bruins, including a replay of their heartbreaking loss in the Stanley Cup final thanks to the infamous too many men on the ice penalty. That brings us to this meeting with Harry Sinden at the end of the season.
Another year, no cup.
Boys did their best. I'm proud of them. 4 first-place finishes, 2 cup finals in the last 4 years.
Listen, I'm prepared to offer you another contract, Don. In spite of everything. But things have to change. You got to realize you're part of management now. You got to start acting like management. And you got to stop giving it to us in the press. This love affair with the media, it's got to stop.
All right, before we talk about this scene, production note, a number of the roles were recast for this miniseries, starting with Harry Sinden, who was played by Canadian actor Booth Savage. What a name. Booth, as in phone booth, Savage. He's probably best known for playing Principal Callahan on Mr. D. Fun fact, this wasn't Savage's first time playing Harry Sinden. He also portrayed him 6 years earlier in the TV miniseries Canada-Russia 72, based on the Summit series. Victor, you're nodding. You knew this?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah. Big surprise.
Yeah.
I think I watched it too, but it was a while ago, so I don't remember anything about it. What's this? The recast was a monster. Oh, and Awesome says that Booth Savage was also in Monster Warriors with Jared. So,
of course.
Thank you for that connection. So, Victor, talk about that scene there, which we didn't see in the first series, but we get to see it now.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I was a little bit taken back when it was a different Harry Sinden, because I was actually really the casting with the first one was really good. Like that, he really resembled Sinden. So I was a little distracted by the fact that it was a new Harry Sinden. But yeah, it was. The other thing is that it was almost clear from the beginning, and this is not to just again continue to argue with you about this, but they didn't position this movie as a continuation from the first movie. This is just another movie talking about Don Cherry's story, because they basically, you can watch this movie without ever seeing Keep Your Head Up, and you basically learn the path of Cherry from player to coach to TV celebrity. So you don't, it's not required watching for the first movie to watch this one, right? Like Godfather 2, you need to watch Godfather 1. Sure. This one, it kind of takes you back to the beginning, and it starts to set the scene. And there's several scenes that kind of almost position this as a standalone because of the montages that they do and whatnot. So kind of bringing you up to
they still
speed.
Use a lot of scenes from the first miniseries.
Yeah, they do, but not in a continuity not from a continuity perspective, more for telling the story of this movie. So but anyway, I thought it was a good strong open. But yeah, I was a little initially disappointed that it's not the same Harry Sinden.
No, I agree. I mean, yeah, we also got used to the first actor. Now we have to get used to a completely different actor. Yeah. Tanya, did you even catch that was a different actor?
No.
No, I didn't think so. And not surprised.
But I did see a bunch of things and I got very confused. So where did Cindy go? And why was she never mentioned?
Because at this point, Cindy was out of the house and working, I think at a hotel or something in Quebec City. I forget. In the first,
she wasn't mentioned at all.
Not yet. I mean, it's only the first half of that movie. Like, but she's old enough now that she's out working. She's not at home.
Huh. I don't. It felt like we were watching another time period.
Like in the first movie, she comes back from wherever she was when Tim gets sick, right? And that's when she donates the kidney and stuff like that. But she's already not living at home by the time Tim is sick.
Okay.
Yeah, like she wasn't like this main presence in the first iteration.
Yeah, she was in and out. Like, she was way more present in the first one. But I mean, we haven't seen. We're only seeing the first quarter of this miniseries today.
And so this might be dumb. So I lost track. Okay, so because
she does get mentioned, doesn't she get mentioned?
I don't think she did, because I was like, where the
later on? I think when he anyway, we'll get to that point. But
they haven't written out of the show if that's what you're concerned about.
Just didn't. We knew about her and she was there.
She still exists in the Don Cherry world.
Well, it didn't seem like she did. Not in this, and that she just.
Well, she wasn't necessary for the part of the story that is being told so far.
We should have had a phone call with her at some point.
Okay.
Anyways, so didn't he say in the other in the last movie though that he never spoke to him again? They never spoke to each other again? Am I getting confused?
Yeah, in the first movie, Don Cherry does say that Sinden, that was the last time Sinden, I don't know if he said it, the last time he spoke to me, but the last time we saw eye to eye, or he trusted me. That was the last time he trusted me.
No, I thought it was the last time we spoke, like we ever spoke. And now we're speaking.
Yeah.
And
It was
I was
clearly
like,
hyperbolic or whatever.
I mean, and so, and it's important to note, Tim Cherry wrote the script and the books that these two miniseries were based on. Cindy also wrote her own book on like memoirs or whatever. And in his interview with Toronto Mike, he said that they thought about doing one of the two series from her perspective. And it would have been a lot different, like Cindy telling the story as opposed to Tim telling it through Don, right? So anyway, it's very interesting. Matt, what did you think of this?
Well, I'm with Tanya. I didn't know there was an actor change at all.
Okay.
Thank you, Matt. I love your
Let's
honesty.
pause. Do either one of you actually know what Harry Sinden looks like in real life?
No. I didn't even remember the name from the first movie. So Harry Sinden to me was a new character as a whole. Then secondly, when that guy came on the screen, I thought it was Adam Scott for a second, which is an actor. He's the guy that's in Severance. But then I'm like, no, that's not him. And then I went a step further, and I'm like, he could be a cross between Adam Scott and Dustin Hoffman. And then I just focused on all of that. And then I lost track of the scene. So.
Isn't Adam Scott like 20 or 30 years younger?
Yeah, well, that's why I realized that it didn't make any sense.
This actor, Booth Savage, does look a little like Adam Scott. You're right. I'm looking at these images of Harry Sinden, his younger self, and I don't really see any resemblance to either actor. But anyway.
But
I just meant in the movie. The actor in the movie
Yeah.
looked like a cross between Dustin Hoffman and Adam Scott.
The fact that Booth Savage played Harry Sinden 6 years before this in another CBC miniseries is hilarious, and actually we'll see that repeats itself again later in this movie. So next scene, as we now know, Sinden doesn't give Don a new contract, but the movie makes it sound like Don is the one who turns him down because of all of Sinden's conditions. When Rose asks Don what happened, he simply says that if Harry didn't get him now, he would have gotten him sooner or later. It's time for them to go. This is where we get the first voiceover that isn't Don's, it's Rose's. She says that they'd been married for 23 years and had moved 15 times, and 5 of those years were in Boston.
Oh, I thought she said 50.
Yeah, no, can you imagine? No, I think it was 15. They put down roots, and Boston really felt like home. So whether Don quit or was fired doesn't really matter because the media decided he was fired, and they all had a field day criticizing Boston's decision. The players loved him, the fans loved him, the whole town loved him. Rose hates that their entire lives are being displayed on TV for everyone to see. And just then, the doorbell rings and it's Red Fisher from the media looking to interview Don and get his side of the story. Don isn't home, but Red invites himself in to wait for Don, and Rose reluctantly agrees. In voiceover, Rose talks about how much Don loved the media and how much they loved him. She valued their privacy, but that's life when you choose. That's what life is like when you choose to be married to a hockey coach. The next scene is Red's interview with Don.
How does it feel to be leaving the Bruins, Don?
Well, I love Boston, and I love the players, and you know that.
The Bruins are so identified with you personally. Must hurt a little.
Sure. But I'll tell you what, I'm not going to cry about it. I think the boys in South Boston, Charlestown, would be disappointed in me if I did.
We're hearing that Harry fired you. Is that true?
No. No, I could have had a contract. Good one, too. No, I could have come back another year. But tame Don Cherry. Stand behind the bench like a wooden Indian. Not getting fined and not throwing things, not kicking things. But it wouldn't have been the right thing to do. No. No, my players have been looking at me like you sold your soul. And I'm not gonna.
5 years with the Bruins is a long time.
He's 5 years. I've been with the Bruins a hell of a lot longer than that.
Before we continue, I just want to say my parents had those exact couches.
I was gonna say that. I remember those
my
couches.
friend had those couches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was triggered when we were watching. I was like, wait.
Those couches look so familiar, don't
they? Yeah, they did.
And we still have those exact same stair railings in our house right now. Anyway, we flash back to Kingston in 1949, where a 15-year-old Don Cherry is playing for the Kingston Victorias. Don is really giving her because he's heard that there's a Bruins scout in the barn that night. We see the Bruins chief scout approach Don's parents. We see the Bruins chief scout approach Don's parents in the stands and introduce himself as Harold Cotton. Then back on the ice, Don gives the puck away in his own end, leading directly to a goal. After the game, Don meets with his father in the stands for a heart-to-heart.
I blew it, Dad. You were right. I tried too hard. Everything I did was wrong. Jeez, what's Mr. Cotton gonna think? That's the worst game I ever played.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't think it was so bad.
I was on the ice for 3 of their goals.
That's true. But you played that one-on-one perfect in the third period.
Yeah, after Mr. Cotton left.
Well, if all scouts cared about was stats, they wouldn't bother showing up for the games. You moved the puck well, kept the other team honest when you were on the ice. Some good, clean hits, too. That one on their center. I bet you can still read his number on the boards in the corner over there.
Oh, he had his head down.
Yeah, but he won't the next time. You can bet on that, huh? Hey. I'm proud of you. You'll get him. Come on, let's go home.
All right. I mean, let's do the obvious production note here. If young 15-year-old Don Cherry looks familiar, it is because he's played by none other than Tyler Johnston, but also known as Stewart. And what's funny is that Tyler is only 3 years younger than Jared Kiesel. So right now Tyler's 39, Jared Kiesel's 42.
No way.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's convincingly playing a 15-year-old version of Jared's character in the movie, which was, done 10
How
years
old
ago.
was he when he played this?
Well, what was it, 2006?
No.
So this,
30.
This was 2012, I think.
Oh my God.
2012, so 6 or 8 years ago?
But they even had...
No,
didn't he-
more than 8 years. I can't do math. 8. What the hell is it, 14 years ago?
Didn't he have
Carry
his
the one.
shirt off at one point? Like, he has this really petite, small frame.
Yeah, well, he does anyway, but so that's what makes him perfect to play, I guess, a younger version of Kiesel.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Victor, what did you think of that scene? Well, first of all, when you first saw Stewart play young Don Cherry, what did you think? Did you know that he played him?
Yeah. I knew that. I think we even talked about it in our interview, didn't we?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I knew it too.
So
just to illustrate
Yeah.
Tanya's face blindness, I paused the movie. I said, "Do you know who that is?" And she's like, "Nope." That's Stewart. Who?
Is
Stewart
that
who?
Rob Lowe? Did he play Youngblood?
I don't know what to tell you. I can't make out features like that.
I know. Anyway.
That's awesome.
Still don't understand how that works.
So yeah, sorry, go on. That was a great scene. And actually the actor that got to play Don Cherry's father would be perfect to play Don Cherry today. Like, he looks so much like him. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So I mean, it was nice. It was endearing to see, like, his dad is so supportive, right? Like, he's saying all the right things, and he's like trying to. Little Don is trying to beat himself up and saying, "I did this and I screwed up that," and Dad is saying, "Well, yeah, that happened, but it's you kept them honest on the ice, and you played your shifts the right way and all that kind of stuff." So he said all the right things, and he was very supportive. So. Which I was, I guess, a little surprised. I didn't, usually, I Don being kind of so rough around the edges, you think that maybe he took after his dad a bit, but in that scene, they certainly put his dad in a very positive light.
Matt, what do you think?
So obviously, I forgot that he was in this, but I know we talked. But the second I saw him, I'm like, oh yeah, and I was instantly excited. I'm like, this will be fun.
Yeah.
But that scene, one of the most powerful lines of the movie, I think, came out of that scene, which is his dad, where he says, "If all scouts cared about was stats, they wouldn't bother showing up to the games." I love that. I feel like if I was a scout, I would wear that on a jacket and walk into arenas wearing that, just to make it clear that I'm here to see more. But I think that was such a good calming thing when he was all bent out of shape over the goals and all that. It's like, nah, man, he just wants to see what you look like on the ice.
Yeah.
Shit happens. That was one of the most supportive comments I've heard in a scenario. Well, not that I've seen a lot of scenarios like that, but it felt perfect in that moment.
I also like how well dressed the father is. Again, another thing that he gets from his father is the whole stylishness, and he could be this big tough guy, but he still like dresses nicely and treats people, you know, with respect and stuff. Tan, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I once I realized it was Stewart, then I couldn't unsee it.
And you're waiting for him to like start breakdancing or take a hit of a cocaine or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good scene. I liked the father-son scene. It really showed his roots and where he came from, as you guys are saying.
All right, let's move on. In the very next scene, Harold Cotton pays the Cherries a visit at home. He tells them Don has a lot of promise and invites him to Boston Bruins rookie camp, offering him an A card, which is a tryout invitation. If the Bruins like what they see, Don will play for their junior club in Barrie. The team will arrange his billet and transportation, and Don will attend school while he's there. Cotton adds that the coach in Barrie is goddamn strict about education. Don's father promptly asks Mr. Cotton to watch his language in their house. Cotton apologizes, and the Cherries sign the agreement. In the next scene, Don and his father head to a local diner to celebrate the signing with a couple of milkshakes. And then we get a scene that helps explain the strong sense of justice Don inherited from his father. They come across a couple of guys bullying a young man named Teddy, who's wearing a leg brace.
Now, a nice out somewhere with my dad, it was like a match being waved near gasoline.
Teddy!
There's always the possibility of an explosion.
You got a problem with these guys? You may not know this, but Teddy's a friend of mine. Let's go. Hey, Teddy. How you doing there, bud, huh? Come on over and sit with us. Watch it. Want a milkshake? Huh? Want a chocolate milkshake? Sure. Good man. Come on and sit with Donald. Ted, you know what? Donald got signed by the Bruins today. Wow. How do you think of that, huh? Give me one, too.
All right. We're getting a little bit of Velvet Hammer action here from Mr. Cherry. Matt, we'll start with you this time. What did you think of that scene? We've lost Matt again. Matt's frozen. Matt, pay your internet bill. Okay, Tanya, what do you think of that scene?
I mean, I think it speaks. Oh, God damn it.
Okay, we can hear you again.
Take two. We can hear you.
Not anymore.
All right. I'm in. All right.
No, you can't.
So what did I think?
Can you hear me? No. Son of a bitch.
You may have to do some editing, Al.
Oh, I refuse to edit. This is fun stuff.
No, that's actually gold.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
All right. I think it's safe for you to go now, Tanya.
Go ahead, Tanya.
I was going to say, I was kind of having flashbacks to Letterkenny and Alexander, and him in the bar, and I kind of wondered again if Kiso was playing with some of that when he was writing Alexander's
it's possible.
role.
Even down to when he fights Joint Boy. Joint Boy first says that slow learner or whatever he calls him at the bar, that was my cousin, and you helped him out. And so if you don't want to fight, we don't have to fight. like he thanked him for helping his cousin out, and then Wayne still says, I don't know who the hell you are, let's fight. But
yeah.
Hi, you're back, man. How's it going?
I hate this.
If you want to get those 5-star Airbnb ratings, you need to make sure your internet's
there's too much. So
fiber.
I'm on this wife who's watching TV. I'm running the live feed as well, and then what I realized the pattern here is both times I shut down, I turned my phone on for a second, and like a video started on something, and then I'm like, oh shit. So I've turned off the live stream. I put my phone down. Which I'm not paying attention, just for the record. I'm just
okay. Whatever. What do you think of that scene?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved. I think it's moments like that where I think kids really learn certain character traits around how to treat people and the right thing and things like that. And I like how the dad approached it.
Very gangster like.
Yeah, like he didn't need to say much.
No.
But his presence and his approach and his confidence in that delivered the message hard, and the guys backed down really quickly. And I love how he just welcomed the kid into his table, and it's like, you don't see stuff like that very often, and it shouldn't be necessary, but they're very powerful moments in people's lives when shit like that does happen. So I liked it. I thought that was cool, and I think I think Don clearly picked up a lot from moments like that on how to treat people.
Victor, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, not much more to add. I think you guys covered it. Obviously, it's a feel-good scene because they came to the rescue, and I liked at the end how the dad got a shake for himself as well. I think that was a nice cherry on top.
What kind of shake would you guys go for?
I'm boring. I like vanilla shakes, but yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, I would go vanilla, but with malt.
What's that? I don't know.
Yeah, what is malt?
You've never been to a 50s diner? What the hell?
Yeah, but I didn't know what it meant.
Okay, you know what Maltesers are?
Yeah, they're gross.
You're so inappropriate.
Really?
Well, Maltesers are an abomination of food.
So Maltesers and/or their competition. What are they called? No.
Whoppers?
Yeah, Whoppers.
Also an abomination.
It's because it's the same thing. They are the stuff that they're made from. You can actually have that powder mixed into your shake, and it's an incredibly wonderful combination. And it's super delicious. It's hard to find places that still do that, but if you find like a 50s diner, like we had
Friends would probably do it.
Yeah, they may do it. I don't know. I'm not sure if they do. But there's one that's in Barrie. That's I forget what it's called, but there's a 50s diner just on that highway, just outside of Barrie. If you stop in, they'll give you a malt shake. Next time going to Donnelly's.
Our go-to when I went to my grandparents' house, it was always having vanilla floats. Vanilla ice cream and then Sprite poured over top.
Yeah, that just sounds gross.
Yeah,
I thought that's root beer, isn't it?
No,
it's normally root beer.
We had Sprite and vanilla, and that was
like.
I feel like they ran out of root beer. And
I think they did.
No,
I think they tricked you on that.
That is like that. I'm telling you, that was a treat. Was to have vanilla ice cream scoops in a glass and Sprite over top.
Awesome to the rescue. Malt is a wheat product. It's also used in beer. Well, I've heard of malt for beer, for flavor and color. It's a good source of protein. So there you go.
Fair enough. My just really quickly on the topic is I'm a purist. I like my chocolate, but when you get some places that are willing to go that extra mile, I order a Neapolitan and they put a scoop of vanilla, a scoop of chocolate, and a scoop of strawberry in and mix it up that way, and it is chef's kiss.
I could do that. I could totally do that. Yeah.
That's great.
All
I
right.
don't know. Strawberry has no place in with the chocolate and the vanilla.
Oh no, the best part of eating Neapolitan ice cream is mixing it all together and then having it.
Oh,
I think if
we're
you,
back on
if
the
you
same
have,
page.
If you have if you have vanilla ice cream with fresh strawberries cut up and
Yes.
mixed into it,
100%.
that is the way to do it.
Yeah, but
That is-
not
we're
that
besties again,
like
man.
not the fake Neapolitan strawberry.
No.
Not that kind of strawberry. No.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree with you.
Next scene, we're back in 1979. Don and Rose are out for dinner at a Chinese restaurant. It's a special occasion. Don tells Rose he's been offered $135,000 a
That
year.
would have been.
Yeah, huge. For 2 years, plus an option to coach in
1979.
Colorado. That's more than double what Boston was paying him and would make him the highest paid coach in the NHL. Colorado is the last place team, but Don figures that if they're willing to pay him that kind of money, maybe they'll also spend what it takes to get the players he needs to win. Rose asks whether he'll be able to get along with the Colorado GM, Ray Moran. Don didn't think much of Ray back in Tulsa, but for $135,000 a year, he figures he can sure as heck try. Sorry there, Mr. Cherry. Rose asks if any other teams are interested. Don says he's heard from Washington, Atlanta, and maybe even Toronto, but Colorado has made a firm offer, and he doesn't think anyone else is going to top it. So Don and Rose decide to go to Colorado. Cut to the day Don is set to leave to finalize a deal. Just before he heads out, the phone rings. It's Alan Eagleson, played by Canadian actor Judah Katz. He tells Don he can cancel his trip to Colorado.
Hello. Hey, it's me. Eagle. Hey, listen, I'm glad I caught you. You can cancel that trip to Denver. Just get off the phone with the Leafs. Ballard wants you.
Leafs.
3-year contract, $150,000 a year.
That's a lot of money.
That's $15,000 more than the Colorado offer and a longer contract.
Well, I can't do it, Eagle.
Why?
I already shook hands with Ray Mirren on the Colorado deal.
What are you, nuts? Come on, it's the Leafs, Don. They're a player or two away from the Stanley Cup.
They can't do it, Eagle.
Don, we're talking about a longer contract. We're talking about more money. You're going to be closer to Kingston.
I already made a deal with Colorado.
You haven't signed anything yet, Don.
I know, but I just told you I shook hands on it.
What is this? Damn Boy Scouts? Huh? No signature on a contract is no deal, Don. You understand that? Plus, it's the Leafs.
Well, you think I want to go to a last place club? You think I don't want to coach the Leafs? I can't do it, all right? I gave my word.
All right. You're making a big mistake, Don.
Oh boy, the Leafs, really? You sure you're doing the right thing? Don!
Rose! Don't you start in on me too, all right?
All right.
Loyalty and honesty. My mom always taught me to keep my word, no matter what.
Production note, this wasn't Judah Katz's first time playing Alan Eagleson. Like Booth Savage, he first portrayed the real-life hockey figure 6 years earlier in the TV miniseries Canada-Russia 72 about the Summit Series. It just goes to show that when the CBC likes you in a particular role, there's a good chance you'll be asked to play that same person in another role in another CBC production. So
what you're saying is these are all in the same multiverse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. Tan, we'll go to you first. What did you think of that?
Well, you know what I'm going to say.
What?
This has happened to me. I was in a situation where I was laid off at a company, and they asked me to stay on and help with the transition because there was a mass layoff, and I ended up helping here and there, and they kept me going, and I was looking for a job at the same time, and I applied for a job. My friend got me in, and I accepted the job. And just as the company that I was with, that was legitimately like a 2-minute walk from my house, said that they had a job opening and wanted me to fill it. And I'd already given my word. Like my friend, had helped me out with this job, and it was in Markham. It was going to be a 40-minute drive for me, but I gave my word, and I already said I was going to go, and I couldn't do it either. I was exactly like Don. It's like my word is my bond, and I can't go back on my word. And you guys did it to me once. Who's to say you won't do it to me again? And I got to go where they want me, where they've asked for me. So it was it wasn't a hard decision because I knew that I couldn't, but I can only imagine how difficult it was for
it was $15,000 more, which in the time was huge.
I want to ask
and
that
B,
question,
it was the Leafs, the motherfucking Leafs. Did we know that the Leafs almost had Don Cherry as their coach? Because I feel like that would have changed history. Well, although if Don goes to work for Harold Ballard, I feel like those two would have been like two rams, like going at each other all the time. Like they would have, somebody would have exploded there if that had happened.
I want to know what was the so in 1979 135.
So I have an inflation calculator
Thank
here, and it says in this, just off this online thing, 135,000. So what Colorado was offering would have been the equivalent to about $575,000 a year.
It's not quite the same because like things change exponentially, and the important thing to note is Colorado's offer would have or made him the highest paid coach in the NHL. The Leafs offer would have made him even higher. Like, so, you know what I mean?
And the 150 would have put him about 640,000.
So I think the comparative should be, if you look at who the highest paid coach is right now in the NHL and how much they're making, and that's what he was being offered, and then a percentage above that for the Leafs, which would have been his dream job. It would have been his dream job because it was closest to Kingston, his hometown. Everything about the Leafs job was, except for the fact that it was Harold Ballard.
Some people aren't even making 135 these days. Like back in 1979, like houses were what, $12,000, like, or $20,000. It was like,
It just feels like a mistake. And I get the loyalty and all that. I have no issue with that. But in a business setting where there's no previous loyalties to the team other than this conversation that led to this job offer, you're allowed to be selfish when it comes to your career, especially when an opportunity as incredible as this one for him came knocking. I'm sure I have to believe this haunted him for a long time after on that one, but you never know. Because you just have to. I mean, I made really quickly on a similar idea. This happened to me at work. Not anything to do with a dream job or anything, but I was going for a role a number of years ago. One that I was like, okay, whatever. And the role was basically mine, and I was about ready to sign. Same deal, about ready to sign. I had met with the manager. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be great working together. And then I got a call from another team that I had previously showed interest in that I thought would take my career in a different, more exciting direction. And they literally out of nowhere called me and said, hey, we've got a contract that just came up. We want to fill it quickly. I know you're about to go in and accept this offer. Do you want this one? And I took the new one. And I had to go back and say to the other leader saying, I really appreciate it. This was a great opportunity and you had faith in me, but I have to do what's best for me and my career. And I don't look back. I think I made, to this day, I made the right choice because it opened up some pretty awesome windows for me. But on a business level, you're allowed to be selfish when it's your life and the things that you care more about, I think.
Sure. Well, I have a similar story, and it involves Victor, actually. So, like, I was at a job for 8 or 9 years and looking for a change, and that's when I met Victor, is when I was applying to a company he worked for prior to the company we both ended up working for, and he offered me the job. And at the time, I was ready to leave because I was working for a director who I really liked working for, and I stayed for him longer than maybe I should have. But then things changed at work and I was miserable and I needed to get out. So that's when I started looking. But then things changed back to the way they were previous with the same director. And I'm like, well, why would I leave now? I've got seniority here and stuff like that. But Victor had already offered me the other job, and I had to have that conversation with him and turn him down. And that was a tough one to do, but I did. I think I did the right thing. And then 7 years later, Victor found me anyway and hired me for the other job.
Isn't that funny? Because the same thing ended up happening to me. Yeah. Even though I went out to Markham for 7 years, I came back, I had my son. I ended up going back to the company.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Eventually down the road. And it worked out at the point that it needed to work out.
Victor, do you have any similar stories?
I probably do. But
you always take off for the money, so.
Yeah, that's right. You know what? Like I have a different take on this whole scene. Definitely, I'm not sure if you and Tanya agreed with Matt, but Matt said it was a mistake. I don't think it was a mistake at all. In fact, I think that that's one of the few examples where he does not get in his way, right? So in that first keep your head up, there's several times where he got in his own way and pivoted his life in a different direction. But that was based on impulse, and it was based on emotions rather than sticking to your values and sticking to your belief system and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so I think in this case, I don't think it was the wrong move at all, because this decision put him on a path where he became coach's corner and became an icon in this country, and until recently. So
right, but think about the other path he would have taken. He would have become the head coach of the Maple Leafs, and
3 years.
No, but that's all made up, because that's kind of you're just making an assumption that it would have been roses. It wouldn't have necessarily been roses at all. You already said it, that working for Harold. First of all, I want to remind people that the Leafs weren't this incredible team. Like, just because you heard in this movie, oh, they're a couple of players away. They weren't a couple of players away. They were never a couple of players away. They were a garbage organization led by a garbage person. Meanwhile, it was the Islanders towards the end of the 70s that had a dynasty. I think they won like 4 or 5 cups in a row with Montreal in between there at one point. And then they handed over the reins to Edmonton into the 80s. But at no point were the Maple Leafs part of the conversation. And bringing Don Cherry to that team wouldn't have changed anything, because Harold Ballard was still the owner, and it was still getting in the way of that team ever being successful. So I think, if anything, that would have maybe put him on a path to get thrown out of the league and maybe not even get the opportunity to be on coach's corner. So it's one of those sliding door moments, but it's not like his life turned out bad because he made that decision. In fact, he turned out good.
Ultimately, he did, but the Colorado move was a bad one, because he didn't.
It's a stepping stone.
Yeah.
It's a stepping. You have
but
to.
But hold on, it was okay. We're saying that now because we have the benefit of knowing what the future holds, and he does become the Don Cherry for CBC. But in Colorado, he only lasted 1 season, and after that, he got blacklisted because of Colorado. Like, so who's to say that in Toronto he doesn't become?
Who's to say?
Okay.
That's the path that he needed to go.
Yeah, it's all theoretical.
That's what he needed to do. That's what he needed to learn.
Everything is theoretical except what actually happened. And what happened is he became a millionaire, a celebrity, and was able to provide for his family for the rest of their lives and well into the future.
I think if he takes the Toronto job, maybe he doesn't ultimately succeed there, but maybe he continues being a coach in the NHL, and maybe he'd be happier.
Are you kidding me? He would have probably been put in jail for killing Ballard at some point.
Well, then it'd be a different level of celebrity.
Yeah, it would be totally.
There'd be a whole different movie being made.
You know what? We'll have to ask Tim about that one, whether he thinks his dad would have been happier.
That's a good question.
Yeah. All right, next scene. We cut to the press conference introducing Don Cherry as the new head coach of the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies GM spends most of the presser pumping the tires of his new coach, saying the organization is in the business of winning hockey games, and hiring Don is proof of that. Don says the Rockies have a decent mix of high draft picks and veteran players, but they sure as hell aren't the Bruins. He knows he'll have his hands full getting this team to play a simpler, less fancy brand of hockey. There's also one glaring weakness: goaltending. Their goalie is a nice enough guy, but in Don's words, he can't stop a taxi. We then cut to Don discussing goaltending situation. Oh, Victor likes that one. With Ray Moran. Moran is the GM of Colorado. He insists their goalie is highly regarded. He just needs some time. Next, Don wants to send a young player to the minors in favor of a grinding veteran, but Moran overrules him, saying they're paying the former first-round pick far too much to have him playing in the minors. In voiceover, Don says, "You win with character, not with money." And then we get a flashback to Don as a teenager. He's home for the summer, and he's supposed to be painting houses, but he's given the day off because it might rain. That doesn't sit well with his father. Don argues it's a good job with good pay, so why change? His father reminds him there's more to life than money. Using a few connections, Don's father gets him a job on the railroad, replacing rail ties. It's brutally hard work. At first, Don isn't welcomed by the older workers. In fact, one of them, whose name is Jake, teases him relentlessly. Then when Jake finally finds out Don's a hockey player, he challenges him to a race. Don accepts and loses to the chain-smoking older man. But Don doesn't complain. He just works harder. Eventually, after one insult too many, Don snaps. He puts a pickaxe to Jake's face and warns him that if he says one more word, he'll put it right through him. Jake silently walks away. The foreman later warns Don that he'll have to watch his back from now on. Don finishes the summer on the railroad. No one ever bothers him again, and the hard labor leaves him in the best shape of his life. Then, on his final day on the job, Jake approaches him one last time. Jake,
You know where the term redneck comes from? Because rednecks spend all day bent over in the hot sun. They're beer drinkers, men who work for a living. When people say I'm a redneck, I'm proud of it. I lost all my baby fat on that railroad crew. I was lean and mean and ready to go.
You mind your billet. Make sure you eat right.
I will.
And listen to your coach. You do what he says.
I'll be fine.
Listen to your mother.
Always do.
All right. We're getting some PTSD there, Tan?
Yep.
You want to talk about that scene?
Nope. It's a little too close to home. Yeah. I can't imagine
16
leaving home, and yeah, it's a little fresh, the wound for us right now. Yeah, it's a powerful scene.
Victor, what did you think of that scene? It involved the railroad. You must have loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Bill's character puts hair on your chest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Tanya, if Al feels that it's as big of a wound as you do, but anyway,
we all cope in different ways.
Yeah. Enjoy the freedom until one day he moves in and just stays.
That's what she's hoping for.
Yeah. That's what she says now. That was a good scene. I think that this is one of those where it was a little maybe too clean cut of a story for the movie. It's like, was it really like that he, the pickaxe and nobody says a word to him for the rest of the summer, and then at the end it's just a head nod. I feel like maybe more stuff happened, but like they say, don't let facts stand in the way of a good story.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good.
I love that they do a race and he loses to the older chain smoking guy, and he's supposed to be this like elite athlete, like
that part is hard to believe, but yeah.
Matt, what'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all got that first job, or that early job in our life where we can say it did a lot for me in my growth as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think that's what this one represents. For me, I worked at a summer camp for a few years. That I know without a doubt had a big part in bringing confidence in myself and a new sort of approach to life out of that. I know that without a shadow of a doubt. So I like this. I think it was really good sort of summary. What I did laugh at this was towards the end of it, and I loved Heather Johnston, don't get me wrong, but when the narrative comes on, it says, I was lean and mean and ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And they cut to Tyler Johnson, and he's like packing his bag, all looking all clean and cut, and nothing about that was mean or lean. It just, I don't know. It kind of made me laugh. It was cute. But, and there was no baby fat to lose to begin with. So right, he's I lost my baby fat. Like he's like 90 pounds soaking wet. And but anyways, that made me laugh.
All right. Next scene, we see the 16-year-old Don board a bus to Barrie as his parents watch him leave. Back in 1979, Don is being interviewed by the press. They ask what he expects from his new team in Colorado. He mentions that in Boston, he always got the players he needed, prompting one reporter to ask him if that's a shot at his current management. Don immediately takes exception. He doesn't want the media getting him into trouble with his new GM before the season even starts. He says his new team's going to have something they've never had before, a snappy dresser behind the bench. Next, we see Rose settling into their new home, but Don has a bad feeling about things. Rose says the team looks like a nice bunch of boys. Don agrees, but he doesn't need boys. He needs men, tough men. The season gets underway, and as Don predicted, the team's biggest weakness is in goal. Whenever his goaltender has a bad game, which is often, he wants to pull himself out, which is hilarious. That scene is so funny. Let's stop and talk about that scene for a quick moment here. Have you ever seen a goalie go, me, pull me out. I want out. Trying to get on the bench, and the coach is like, no, you stay the fucking net.
Yeah, I mean, that's like right out of a slap shot. You know, that's the that's the kind of stuff you see in those movies, right? So I'll take the word, Tim's word for it that actually happened.
Yeah,
because I haven't done my research.
So that doesn't happen?
No, actually, the closest thing I can think of is when Patrick Roy was left in net for, I think, 6 goals, and he went to the bench and basically told his coach, this is the last game I ever played for Montreal, and he was right. He never played for Montreal again. He went on to play for Colorado.
And he won the Stanley Cup the next year.
And he won a Stanley Cup the next year, yeah, because he felt disrespect. Wow. But that was the opposite. He felt disrespected that they left him in for all those goals. Like normally the starter would be pulled for the backup. Like, teams have a bad night every once in a while, and you get scored, a bucket full of goals or whatever.
So is it the goalie's fault, or is it the fact that his team isn't?
It depends on the night, right? In the case of Patrick Roy, there's no better goalie than he was at the time. His team just had a really awful night, and he should have been pulled a lot earlier. He wasn't. Felt disrespected, and he said, I'm never playing here again. And that was the last Montreal had of Patrick Roy.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that said, there's been other good goalies that have been left in net for a lot of goals, right? Yeah. And there's usually reasoning for that. Maybe there's like it's a back-to-back, and you need to save the other goalie for the next day, because if you put him in, then now both goalies are not fresh for the next. Maybe there's an injury, maybe there's something else. And coaches don't want to be shown up by players, right? The coach is in charge, regardless of how big of a star the player is. So it's not typical for a goalie to overreact like that. Like, it's not the first time in history that a goalie's been left in net for 6+ goals or whatever. Yeah. So it's not like that was like a historic moment. But Patrick Roy felt disrespected and decided that's it, I'm out of here. But I'm sure there was already stuff brewing.
Yeah, that was probably the tipping point. Yeah,
exactly. That was just the last straw, and but that wasn't the thing that that it's not like Patrick Roy, everything was good and then that happened and then he left, right? It's he clearly was not eye to eye with the coach to begin with. I just can't remember. It was so long ago. I don't remember any details around it.
Yeah.
Matt? Yeah. Moments like that make me laugh. I mean, on a opposite side, so now now that I'm a sports person,
welcome.
Baseball, I'm learning a lot, and I'm getting a real kick out of where on the other side it's like they save face with pitchers when the game's really gone sour, and they put in just other position players. Like I know Miles Straw, as an example, pitched an inning a couple games ago when they were getting their asses kicked, and it almost becomes a joke just watching them.
I love it when they get position players to pitch, for sure, because
and they get out on like a 50 or like a 40 kilometer an hour 40 mile an hour fastball, and you're like, look at that out.
All right, so, the Rockies are in last place in the NHL standings, but first in attendance, and when the media asks Don why, he jokes that it's because of his tailor. Next, Don meets with GM Ray Moran and pleads for a goaltender. He even suggests one who's available, but Moran turns him down, insisting that one player does not win or lose hockey games. Don replies, he does if he's a goalie. Don's not wrong there. Miron isn't budging, though. We then cut to a party at the Cherry House with the players and their wives and girlfriends. Don can't help talk hockey and reminding his players to keep their shifts under 45 seconds. Rose eventually has to scold everyone for talking shop at the party. Next, Don prepares for a road trip to Boston, his first game back since leaving the Bruins. Rose begs him not to make a scene. Meanwhile, Harry Sinden tells his assistant he doesn't want any fuss over Don's return either. Colorado's a last-place team. Boston should get an easy 2 points out of this one, and he doesn't want anyone making the night about Don. Of course, the moment Don walks into the arena with Tim, he compliments Harry on his tie. Harry somehow takes that as an insult and storms off. Because to Harry, Don somehow makes everything about Don. During the pregame skate, Don is announced over the PA despite Sinden's wishes, and the Boston crowd gives him a huge ovation and starts chanting his name. Watching from his suite, Sinden is less than thrilled. Then Don takes his place behind the bench, and a fan tosses a bunch of plastic grapes onto the bench. Don picks them up, holds them up to the cheering crowd, and then turns and holds them up for towards Harry's private box, making Sinden even more miserable. Boston jumps out to a nearly 2-0 lead, but Don's players aren't about to let him down. Not in Boston. They storm back to win the game and celebrate like they've just won the Stanley Cup. As the players celebrate, Don looks up towards Harry in his private box. The Rockies keep the momentum going with wins over Montreal and Quebec next. For a brief moment, they're riding a high. But then as the season wears on, the losses start piling up again, and the pressure begins to get on Don. During one game, Rockies forward Mike McEwen ignores Don's instructions to keep his shifts short. He stays out too long, turns the puck over, and it leads to a game-winning goal. When McEwen returns to the bench, Don explodes, grabs him, slams him up against the glass, and tears into him for costing the team the game. McEwen quits the team, but Don doesn't lose any sleep over it. In his mind, if you quit on your teammates, you don't belong on the team. Then Don gets an unexpected visit from his GM.
Mike McEwen's coming back.
Oh, that's funny. Exciting to hear from him.
I met him in New York.
Walked out on his team, Ray. You don't do that.
You shouldn't have embarrassed him on TV like that.
Hey, I've yelled at better players than Mike McEwen.
The point is, he wants to come back.
Why, Ray? You tell him I won't be here next year?
Ray doesn't say a word. He simply just gets up and walks out of Don's office. In the next scene, Don visits the home of Colorado Rockies owner Arthur Imperatori Sr., the self-made New Jersey trucking magnate. Don immediately respects Arthur because in many ways he sees a lot of himself in him.
We felt we had the talent this year.
Well, you know, things really coming along towards the end there. Good finish. 5-0 win over Pittsburgh at home. Fans tried through a snowstorm to see us off, so things really turned around.
I know.
You know, we'd like more goals, but I mean, you said yourself you wanted more bums in the seats. You got 149,000 more tickets sold, so I hope you're happy about that.
What about Ray Marin? What do you think about the job he did?
I don't want to talk about the guy behind his back.
No, it's okay. It's between us. Stays here.
No, I got a lot to say about Ray Marin, but I won't talk behind his back.
All right. He talks about you.
Well, I can't help that, can I?
I know you're a good leader, but do you really feel you worked hard enough with the players, Don?
Well, I was there every step of the way, Arthur.
Oh, I know about hard work. The truckers who work for me, they work hard, even in the rain.
Oh, the truckers? Well, first of all, Arthur, those truckers sit in their cabs while somebody else loads the trucks. Now, I worked construction for 20 years on the end of a jackhammer in the rain. So with all due respect, don't give me that baloney about how hard truckers work.
You remind me of me when I was young. Don, I don't want to hurt Rose and Tim. I like your family.
I think I know what you mean. All right, look, don't worry about my family. I've always looked after them, and I always will. You do what you gotta do.
No mention of Cindy there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she asked not to be involved in this story. Who knows? But we went through a couple of scenes there. Victor, what did you think of those scenes?
Yeah, I mean, if that's how it went, it's a little surprising that a coach is being let go by the owner and not by the GM, because usually it's the GM, and you'd think that Marin or Moran or Moron would have enjoyed doing that.
Maybe he was afraid
But
of Don. I don't know.
maybe he heard what might have happened to Harold Ballard and said, yeah. So and I guess the words were never spoken. Don clearly understood what was happening, and it's funny. Like even he always had to have the last word, right? I mean, here he is talking about the truckers, and he's got to start fighting with him about the truckers.
And basically insults the guy's like business. Like, yeah. You think
sure.
you
Like
guys are
his
hard
face.
workers? Actually, the hard workers are the people who load the fucking trucks.
Yeah. That's an example again where
He shoots himself. Yeah.
He should. Yeah. Gets in a way of his own self. I mean, maybe like it's that decision was already made, regardless of what would have happened or what he would have said in that meeting. But you don't want to burn bridges, right? So that's an example of him making a choice that is emotion driven and not like driven by consideration and smart choices and all that kind of stuff. So maybe that didn't work well for him, and that's probably what got him blacklisted and why nobody wanted to hire him. But again, that opened other doors for him.
Yeah, it's curious that he got blacklisted though, because he seems to refuse to talk about people behind their backs. Although to the media, he seems to say more, but
he's I think well, I think he's pun intended cherry picking, of what he considers acceptable and not. You're welcome.
Well done. Matt's looking for his blue spatula. Did he? No. Oh, he's got his balls instead, his beer cruisy balls. Tan, what do you think of those last few scenes?
Yeah, I so that means that the owner was letting him off, laying him off.
Yeah, that's what we infer from that scene, is that he got fired by the owner, not by the GM, which isn't usually the case. Like to Victor's point, usually the GM fires you, not the owner. But I guess in this case, GM.
It was a direct result because of what happened on the bench when the player came in and
It was a result of. They were still a last place team, although I thought Don made some good points. Yes, they're a last place team, but they had the highest attendance in the NHL. Like he made way more money with Don.
I think it comes down to the one little thing that was said there, is that he talks about you. So it sounds like the GM continuously was complaining to the owner about Don, right? Because Don was a pain in his side. Don was always arguing with him. He was always asking for things. It seems like the GM never bent though. Like Don never got his way. But I think that's very basically what it is, right? When the GM complains about the coach to the owner, then the owner says, okay, well, what do you want to do? Let's get rid of him. That's probably what happened.
Yeah.
Matt, what's your take?
Yeah, it's like it's simple. I think at this point, it's do I lose my GM or do I lose my head coach? To
me, I think the head coach is way more valuable to him than the GM. The GM was useless.
But the owners are usually don't know what the hell's going on. They're usually the stupidest people in the room.
Yeah, you're right.
So based on all that, I think also that's probably why the fire went down the way it is, because I think the owner, I think it's a level of respect there. It's like, I know who you are. I know what you've done. I know what our opportunity was with you, and it didn't work out. And that was goodbye at that point. But I don't know. It just, that's the way, based on what you guys are telling me, that's what my interpretation would be, is that it was just sort of a sign of appreciation as well, even though we got blacklisted by the GMs and everything. But it's an interesting one.
What do you think?
You already asked me.
Did I? All right, let's move on then. Don gets up, shakes Arthur's hand, and leaves the Colorado Rockies after just one season. Once again, Don's firing is an unpopular move with the fans, and once again, Don and Rose find themselves packing up and moving. In voiceover, Rose admits she's actually relieved that Don's time in Colorado is over. She loved Denver, Tim loved Denver, but Don was miserable there. Don assures Rose that something will come along, the offers will start coming in the summer, and Tim will be just fine. After all, Don was already out of the house by the time he was Tim's age. Cue another flashback. Young Don is now in Barrie, playing under Hap Ems, who Don says was the smartest coach he ever played for. During a skate-around, Hap stops practice to read the players a newspaper article.
Read this in the national newspaper 2 days ago. You remember the game against the Marlies, right? One of you boys embarrassed me? Hap Ems must have been particularly upset when Eric Nestorenko walked around the Flyer defense and scored. While Donald Cherry played button. Where's the button? What is Ems teaching these guys? You made me look bad, Donald. You look at the puck one more time in a one-on-one and you're going to be very sorry. I'd like to see some one-on-ones now. Cherry first. Let's go, ladies, on the hop.
The team runs some one-on-one drills, starting with Don. He has a hard time resisting the urge to go after the puck and gets beaten yet again. That's when Hap steps in to do some coaching.
Do you suppose it's going to be possible to convince you not to look at the puck, Donald? You cure a dog of killing chickens by tying a dead chicken around his neck until it rots off. So maybe this is going to work.
You wear this in bed, you wear it to school, in the shower, everywhere. You don't take it off until I tell you to. If you do, you're off this team. And I'm going to ask people, you see Donald at school today? Was he wearing the puck? Like that, you understand? Don't look at them. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Your hockey lives are in my hands, boys. There's gonna be no girls, no drinking, or you're gone. There are no second chances. If you get to your billets at 9:30, I'm gonna know, because I'm gonna phone them and I'm gonna ask. Now, if you work hard and listen to me, you might make the NHL. But if you're floaters or you break any of my rules, you'll be out of hockey so fast you will not know what hit you. Now give me some laps, hard ones. Let's go, boys. No doggo, let's go.
All right, Matt, what do you think of those last couple of scenes?
To teach a dog not to kill a chicken by tying a dead chicken around its neck and letting it rot off. That's fucked up, man.
That is very fucked up.
That's really fucked up, man.
Then you got a stinky, dirty dog that's choking on bones. That's what you got.
Instantly, I'm like, is he about to tie a chicken around Don Cherry's neck? Because this is going to get really twisted really quickly. Yeah, I don't know. It's extreme coaching, man. Maybe we're back to what we were talking about earlier and how you push greatness through extreme measures. But I don't know. I feel for it. That shit would never fly out today's world. But
no way.
The shame approach. But no, I like it.
Talking about Edmonton just hired that guy.
What guy?
Which guy?
Babcock.
Oh yeah.
you forgot what he did a couple of years ago to Columbus?
Refresh our memories.
He started asking for their phones and said, "Let me look through your photos."
Oh yes, that's right.
To see if you were doing anything untoward in your photos, in your personal private photos.
What?
This is exactly the same thing as I don't want you drinking or seeing girls and being in bed by 9:30 and let me look through your photos to see if anything incriminates you. It's the same exact, and asking Mitch Marner to tattletale on his teammates behind their backs. I mean, like this is stuff happening now in our lives right now, and Edmonton decided to hire this idiot. So
yeah, I'm surprised he's back in the league, but that's what the league does. It recycles their coaches. Like it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Wasn't he let off though with that? Like, I'm not saying he didn't do it, but wasn't he sort of like?
Well, I mean,
he just done his suspension.
So what happened? What happened was they were going to do an investigation, and Babcock decided that he's going to just leave the Columbus, so he resigned, and so there was never an investigation. And when Edmonton a month ago decided that they're thinking of hiring him, the NHL decided to do an investigation before Edmonton was allowed to hire him. So they did their investigation and then decided that, well, if we're going to let rapists into the league, then why wouldn't we let this guy into the league? So then they said, yeah, that's fine.
The opinions expressed by Victor in this podcast are those of Victor and do not reflect those of anyone else.
So then let's speak on that. Let's continue this little banter quickly.
Mhm.
And I just Googled it and it says on June 16th, there's something on Sportsnet. It says NHL officially opens Babcock investigation.
Yeah.
So because the Oilers have now picked him up, now he's free game again.
No, that investigation
already
needed to
happened.
be completed,
Yeah.
and now
Oh.
because it was completed, Edmonton was able to hire him.
Yeah, I guess.
So it was like a 1 week investigation.
To Victor's point, the NHL has let worse coaches off for worse things, so they didn't have any
Yeah,
legs
Joe
to stand
Quenneville,
on. Yeah,
Joe Quenneville, who was the coach, I guess still is the coach of the Anaheim Ducks, was let back in after the horrible thing that happened in Chicago a few years ago, like in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
And when they won the cup. And so I'll let you guys look that up yourself. But he did a terrible thing, and so did the rest of the Chicago management. And now they've all been allowed to have jobs again, which is way worse than what Babcock did, by the way. So, and then again, those 5 Canadian hockey players, even though Vegas was the only one that took them up on the offer and brought in Carter Hart, the other players, they were all allowed to come back to the league. And the thing is, regardless of whether you agree with, they were acquitted, but they were morally wrong. And the whole idea is that if you do things that are morally wrong, you shouldn't have the privilege of playing in the NHL and becoming a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
Go and do other things, but don't play in the NHL because that's a privilege.
Yeah.
So anyway, all to say is that this stuff is not just from the 70s and whatnot. It's happening still now today.
So I'm sure you've thrown away your Bab socks that you probably got as a gift a few years ago.
I'm not a Babcock fan, no.
Yeah. He was really easy to imitate, though. Tan, anything about those scenes, the coaching scenes?
I have forgotten.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. We're going to the very last scene that we're doing tonight anyway. Next scene, we see Don on the phone with his mom back in Kingston, giving her...
Oh, I remember.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. I wanted to ask about the button. How are you supposed to play hockey? Isn't the whole point of hockey is to know where the hell the puck is?
If you're a goalie,
No.
if you're defending somebody, you're watching the body because it's easier to fake you out with the puck than it is with the body. If you watch the body and you follow the body, you take the body out, the puck won't go anywhere because the body is what's controlling the puck. But if you go after the puck, you pretty soon somebody will be around you and past you. So when you're defending,
Why didn't he just say that to Don?
Yeah.
Like I would have understood that.
The problem is it's not the words, right? The problem is your natural reaction is to go for, because you're holding a hockey stick in your hand, and your hockey stick wants to go for the puck. It's just a natural reaction. So you have to go against what your body wants to do, and you need to start using your head. So it's something you just have to keep practicing.
Remember last week when you said choose the neck that turns the head?
Yes.
So the body is the neck that turns the puck. So if you take the neck out, then the head goes nowhere. Did I just fuck that up?
Nailed it.
Right?
I think we all briefly understood what you were trying to say.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah, you know what might be a way. That's probably what coaches do, is to take the stick out of your hands and then do it.
Yeah.
Right. Because then without the stick, then you're just naturally all you got left is the body.
Yeah. All right, final scene that we're covering tonight. We see Don on the phone with his mom back in Kingston, giving her an update on how things are going. This is eerily similar to whenever Tanya calls our son at school.
It's okay, Mom.
Are you having a good time, Donald?
Yeah, it's great. Sharing a room with another guy. Landlady's got a lot of rules, but we'll be fine.
Well, you mind her now.
I will.
Ask him if Hap's giving him decent ice time.
Your father wants to know, are you getting enough ice time?
Well, Rooks are getting a bit of a hard ride right now, but...
Tell him he's got to earn his ice time by working hard at practice.
Why don't you tell him yourself?
You tell him.
Hey, I gotta go, Mom. Guys are waiting to use the phone.
Your father says work hard. We sure do miss you around here, Donald.
I know. I miss you, too. I gotta go.
All right. Goodbye.
All yours, Red.
Sound okay?
I guess so.
It's like they put a nanny cam in our house and just recorded Tanya talking to her son.
And you sitting in the chair saying stuff from afar. Yeah, I know.
Are you guys at that stage already?
An exact play-by-play replay. Anyway.
Tell him not to be stupid. Okay.
Basically. Yeah.
Now you've been in
Ask him, does he need money? No. All right.
Volunteering money?
We're stopping there. 10. What did you like that scene?
A bit of PTSD. But yeah, it's sweet. It's yeah.
Matt.
He was wearing the puck.
He was. That's right.
He was wearing the puck.
Yeah.
And I love that like back then when you had phones that you had to share. World's come a long way since you guys are sitting on Face. Do you do FaceTime with Owen, or is it phone calls?
WhatsApp. We WhatsApp him.
But like video.
Well, actually,
or
no.
audio?
I had just phone calls lately. I think at the beginning it was video calls. But,
He's a busy boy.
Yeah, I'd be happy if I can get a text message.
Yeah. No, cute scene. He's wearing the puck.
Victor, what did you think of that scene?
Yeah, good scene, and again, just reminds you that he had a very good relation with his parents, good upbringing, and caring parents, right? So, it's nice.
All right, and like I said, that's where we're going to stop. That was halfway. That was exactly halfway, Matt. So
I
there
told
you,
you, right?
All
Exactly on the dot.
Okay. And we will finish up the rest of this next week with part 2 of the first movie in this miniseries. We're going to move on. Just have a really quick Universal news item. It's kind of Universal adjacent. There is a heated rivalry, the unauthorized musical parody happening in Toronto at the Soul Pepper Theater. And it starring, well, I don't know if he's starring, but he's in the cast. James Daly, aka Ronnie, from Letterkenny, Ron and Dax. He's in it, and then a bunch of it's Soul Pepper is their theater troupe, so they put on a bunch of shows, and so they're doing a musical parody of Heated Rivalry. It sounds like it's crazy, and it's only happening, I think, for a week in July in Toronto. So those of you who are interested in that, check it out, look it up. And
I feel like just hearing you, there's already missing an opportunity for this to have been like an on ice, like an on ice experience, like Ice Capades or something.
Can you imagine?
Oh my.
Heated Rivalry on ice.
Yeah.
James Daly, I don't know if anyone's seen, there was a clip or a trailer of him in Vampire.
Yeah, Dracula the Musical or whatever it's called, or a comedy of horrors. Hilarious.
I wish I had have seen it.
Yeah.
Please bring it back, because I really, really, really want to see it. The trailer for it. He was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great. He was, and if ever, and anyone ever watched Working Moms, he has a very memorable scene in Working Moms that you have to see it to believe it. It's
I don't remember.
He's in it only for like a bit, and the bit that he's in it is like, holy crap. I'm not going to give it away. You're just going to have to watch it. Anyway, so that's all the news I have for this week. Before I go with final comments, because I have no listener comments this week, Matt, would you like to do a shout out to our patrons?
Patrons, yes, because we love you all so much. Let's go through the lineup. First, we'll start off local to keeping the hometown crew strong with Miriam, Juan, and Gord. Thank you. Looking at Liz, Dennis, and Dave bringing the Great Lake toughness from Michigan. Casey and Jen holding down the South style from Virginia. Adrian and Jeff, cold weather, warm support over in Maine. Josh and PJ, the two legends of the Keystone State out in Pennsylvania. Catherine and Teresa, big state, big support, big love all the way from Texas. Justin and Dennis proving the chirps travel across the pond. Out in California, awesome. The name says it all. Chad probably owns a flannel or two out in Minnesota. Jason racing straight onto the Patreon list in the Indianapolis. Ryan keeping the East Coast represented out in Maryland. Northern Ontario toughness, of course, with our friend Michelle out in Sudbury. Robbie powered by potatoes and podcast love out in Idaho. Mike bringing the Joyzy confidence out in New Jersey. Joey, high altitude, high quality taste out in Colorado. Nick, of course, hopefully beating the odds in Las Vegas. Aaron, Windy City, strong opinions all the way in Chicago. Noah, somewhere between the city and the wilderness in upstate New York. Scott, still waiting on your address in parts unknown. Simcoe, Cassie, small town, big support. And of course, Sarah, cheese country checking in out in Wisconsin. We also have Casey bringing the Southern heat as well in North Carolina. Jay, hockey country represented in Edmonton. Jeremy, Jez, keeping the international crew alive in Perth, Australia. Tobias showing the Show Me State some love in Missouri. Paddle, best Patreon name on the list, hands down, Rhode Island. Charlie, classic name, quality supporter in Massachusetts. And last but not least, Melbourne Jack crossing the globe for the show. To every single Patreon supporter, thanks for keeping us going, keeping us laughing, and proving the Letterkenny and Shoresy love has no borders. You're all absolute beauties.
Well done, Matt. Wow. I just gave you that list before we started recording. Did you do that while we were recording?
Yeah.
No wonder you were distracted.
That's how he broke his internet.
Here we thought that his internet was down. No, he's like writing this shit down. That's amazing, man. Well done. All right, let's move on to final comments, and we start with you, Victor. Your final comments for tonight.
Yeah, I think we should start doing a guessing game where Scott is from. I'll start with I'll pick Norway just for fun.
But how do we rule them out though? This game has a flaw because we can't actually rule out your answers.
Well, we can, it's like we don't rule them out. We just say, here are our picks, here are our guesses. It's just like at the end of the season where we make our predictions for the following season. These are our predictions.
I think Scott's from Michigan. I could be wrong, but I feel like he's from Michigan.
I think Norway's more fun.
Sure.
Well, game over.
Norway's more fun.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know for a fact. I'm just guessing. I don't know. Like, I guess yeah.
So you're playing already.
Sure. Yeah, there you go. Well, Tanya, where do you think Scott's from?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say London.
London. All right, another UK listener, or London, Ontario.
UK.
UK. All right. Amazing. Victor, your final comments, was that it?
Yeah, because we're not we're only halfway through the first episode, so
yes.
I think it's a good start. I'm enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying it really I'm enjoying it just as much as I did the other one. And so far the movie is positioning itself as its own thing, right? Like, again, I don't feel like we're watching a continuation just because and the reason I say that is because there's so many flashbacks, but the flashbacks go even further back than we were watching the first movie, right?
Yeah.
With our friend Stewart. So I kind of feel very complete with this one, and I'm kind of, even though I'm enjoying where we are, I'm keep wanting to fast forward to where he becomes Coach's Corner,
yes.
Don Cherry. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really anticipating that, but I kind of enjoying the journey.
All right. I mean, yeah, we'll give our ratings and stuff next week, but I do want to say this in case I forget it for next week. I'm not sure how I feel about having two narrators in one story. So when I started hearing Rose's voice, like doing some narration as well as Don Cherry, it was kind of weird. So we'll see how like, if that,
I didn't even catch that at all.
I felt the same way with Clerks too, because it was in color. I felt like, it was still written well, but it's in color. I don't know how I feel about that.
Wow, way off the
Jesus
line.
Christ.
I love it.
Way out of left field. All right, but anyway, so far it's enjoyable.
Good.
It's getting used to some of the recasting has been not challenging, but different. It's taken me out of the story a bit here and there, but so far it's been fun. 10.
Yeah, I hope they find Cindy. I was a little worried about her. Yeah, I hope that happens. I hope that they do a flashback to his most recognizable clip of when he's He's on when he does
But they did
this.
that in the first movie.
I know, but they should do it again.
Okay.
Because it's just that big of a
Just
deal.
go watch the other one.
I know, but it's a big deal. It was a big deal. It was
Well,
like
they've gone past it though. They're on
I
to
know,
the
but
next
they've
story.
they flashed back already to where they once were.
I think what they should. I think the second most recognizable clip of Don Cherry is him kissing Doug Gilmour on the cheek. So if we get that, I'll be happy with that.
Oh, I did forget to mention something. So when Red was interviewing him in the house and he's sitting on your Portuguese couch, Don looked like he was paralyzed on that couch.
Yeah.
Like he looked.
Those were
his
comfortable
body-
couches.
Yeah, but he looked terrible. Like his head,
Yeah.
only his head was moving. And I felt like one of the best actors in that scene was Blue because like
the dog.
Yeah. So you know how hot it is under those lights, like when they're filming those, the spotlights. They're super super hot, especially like back then. They're like all halogen and he's just sitting there. Because I don't how many times would they have had to have retake that?
We're getting a
I
sneak
thought
peek
Blue
at
was
Victor's
fantastic.
MVP for this movie, I think.
Yeah, well, for sure. So far, I was very impressed with Blue in that scene. But
Okay.
yeah, he was completely paralyzed in that scene. That was crazy.
Sorry, did you finish your final comments, Tan?
I don't.
No, okay.
I don't.
Shall I move on to Matt?
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Final comments.
Yeah. I mean, I'm enjoying it so far. It's fun. I will be honest. It took me a few minutes to acclimate to the fact that we're still staying in the hockey career. I was really excited to dive into.
So, like
Hockey
Victor,
Night in
you can't
Canada.
wait for the Hockey Night in Canada stuff.
Yeah, I was like, we were talking at the end and how they teed up the end of the last one. I'm like, okay, here we go. We're getting into the broadcast and all the chaos that probably ensued in the early days of any controversial media persona. So I'm hoping that still comes in Wrath at some point in either this one or the next one. But aside from that, obviously that's my disappointment, but I'm enjoying it. It's nice to see Tyler Johnston in here representing a young Don Cherry and seeing those two together. So no, it's a good start and I can't wait to see where it keeps going.
All right. Oh,
So this is the first part of 4 parts again?
yes.
Gotcha.
No,
Okay,
it's
just
the
wanted to
first
double check.
part of the first one of the 2-part series.
So
No, this is
4
the first
parts
part
altogether.
of the second one, not the first one.
Do we have to
Oh,
fucking
wow,
do
that
this
was so
every-
intentional.
Every fight. Oh my god. Seriously. Time to get inebriated at the after party, folks. And that's all we have for this episode. Next week, we'll finish the first installment of Wrath of Grapes and hand out our ratings and MVPs. So make sure you do your homework. Until then, if you'd like to support the podcast, become a patron. You'll get a shout out on the show, exclusive bonus content, early access to interviews, and your own ad-free podcast feed. Another great way to support us is by telling a friend about the podcast or leaving us a review. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky at ProtestanPod. Shoutouts, as always, go to our buddy Ian Service for the live stream and our friends at Sonar Network. Our intro and outro themes are by Poise for the Worm. You can find their music on all major streaming platforms. Thanks for joining us. Now we're headed to the after party. On behalf of Tanya, Victor, Matt, and myself, thank you for listening and have a great week.